How's it going, everyone? Nick here with Chevelle Factory. Man, what a weekend. This whole 7 days of where we're at now, after getting the car from Vegas, driving it home, taking it out throughout the weekend, and just seeing all the other Chevelles. And this Chevelle right here, it's just phenomenal. And I wanted to shoot a kind of a wrap-up video. And one of the main things is going to be my 5 top favorite things about the car, which we're going to get into that here in a second. But I want to also answer a few questions, common questions that I heard in person from people coming up to me. My wife also had the questions, and then we had some people commenting on some of the videos and content and everything. So the first question that everyone was asking was, did I buy a new car? Answer is, I wish I did. I wish it was this one, but I didn't buy a new car. I had the great opportunity to actually fly, my wife and I fly to Vegas and pick up this car from the owner. His name's Greg. He's a customer of Ironworks Speed and Customs, which is the people that, the shop that actually built this car, which is a Legacy Series Chevelle. And just knowing Greg over the years, as well as Roger at Ironworks, I'm just blessed. They hit me up and said, would you like to take the car for the weekend and go and drive it around and have fun at the events for all the Chevelle stuff. So I didn't buy the car, but we did have the opportunity, my wife and I, to go out there and drive the car home and sport it around for the weekend and show it to you guys. So with showing it to you guys, we had a lot of questions. Before we get into the questions, I'm gonna get into the top 5 things, because I think that's one of the main things surrounding the questions that we were getting. And the top 5 things that I like about this Chevelle, just to give you guys an understanding, is that one of the first things that pops off about this Chevelle is the style. And when we talk about the style of the car, it's not just basically like, you know, is it hammered or is it has a fancy paint job on it or anything like that. The thing that screams this car out at you when you first see it is that it looks all original and it looks like it would be factory. So you really get that 1970s vibe. It is a 71, and you get that vibe, that feeling. The color just hits right, and the vinyl top and everything else in between. Well, I will tell you, this car, just to give you an understanding, this car right here was originally, in 2022 when they purchased the car, it was originally 18,000 miles on the car. And this paint right here is not a repaint. This is actually the paint that came off the showroom floor with this car, and also the vinyl top as well as the glass is another. So when we talk about the vibe, it definitely has the vibe, because this is exactly how it came, as in paint, windows, vinyl top, off the showroom floor. Nothing's been modified. The bumpers aren't tucked, nothing like restyled. There's not even a cowl induction hood on this. They just did they kept it Malibu. This is a Malibu 350 off the showroom floor, so they kept it just like that. So the style, that's the main thing, is the style, let alone it is lowered. Well, I'm gonna get into that in a second, because it's not lowered, and I'm gonna explain that in a second. But the stance on this car is just mean as all hell. I mean, when you look at it, it's just very aggressive, and it looks great. The wheels also be on the styling side of things, is that it is, replicated of the rally wheels, but it obviously larger. You have 19s up front, you have 20s in the rear. So that's all about the styling. The car just has a killer look to it, stance and everything. My second favorite thing is going to be the ride, handling, and brakes, all in one, all encompassed. So the driving experience, the ride quality is phenomenal. And I did touch on that this car is not lowered, and the significance about ride quality is that this is actually factory ride height for this chassis, because it does have an aftermarket chassis underneath it. So this is not lowered. Some people might think that this is a lowered application. This car has been lowered. It has not been lowered. This car has been put on an aftermarket chassis, and this stance is what the chassis was developed to be at. So because the significance of it not being lowered is that this car is not hammered out and loss of compression. So it's not, when it hits bumps and G-outs, it's not hitting the compression stops and bouncing off of them and just feeling, erratic going down the road under those kind of conditions. So this is ride height, and that plays a big factor in how it rides. Also, with how it rides, Ironworks has done a phenomenal job of basically testing and tuning with JRI shocks, the shocks that are underneath this car, They are coilovers, front and back, true coilovers. I also note too, the rear is an independent rear suspension. So just like you would find in your newer Camaro and Corvettes and stuff like that, it's got an independent rear suspension. That plays a huge factor in the ride quality and handling and just how overall the car handles. The brakes, you've got a big brake, 14-inch rotor, 6 piston setup on it, and the thing just brakes phenomenal. So overall, you can drive this car mild because it's not a beast of a car to drive. You can drive it mildly, have fun. We cruised back from Las Vegas doing about 75 miles per hour and it drove great. But then if you want to get a little spirited with the car, you can get on the gas and it's got plenty of power and it's got plenty of braking. So you don't feel like the car's overpowered for the brakes or the suspension or handling or anything like that. So it's a very well-rounded package all in one. And that's due to the suspension, the chassis, the shock package, and the braking. So let's get into my next one. My third favorite deal is gonna be the seats and the position of the seats in the car. So let's show you in here. These seats, one, why it's a favorite is because they don't look outrageously different than a factory car, a factory, you know, Malibu, or really an SS car, because this Malibu has been transferred over to like a styling of an SS car. So these seats right here are actually a Camaro new generation seat, which a lot of people have been using these seats in Chevelles, Monte Carlos, GTOs, and 442s because they have full adjustability. But the one problem with them is that you get that adjustability and you get this nuance of a seat, but the seats sit real tall in the cars. So you'll know when you see a Chevelle or any other, you know, car like this with one of these seats in it because they sit real tall. The headrest, well, even if these ones don't have a headrest on, but if they, you know, this top part of the seat is usually up higher. And with that, the bottom of the seat is up higher. So the whole seating position is usually right. Your head is usually at the top of the ceiling, but Ironworks has developed this whole package. It's all inclusive. This whole thing starts with the foundation of the actual chassis, and then everything snowballs outwards to have this overall package. So this floor of the car has been recessed down, and with that recess, these seats are recessed down. So now you've not lost any of the adjustability in the mechanism of the seat, but you have the seat down lower. So a taller person, larger person than me, I'm 5'10", I've got plenty of headroom, but for me, I'm able to sit down real low and be at that seating position that I want to feel comfortable in the car. So I'm not like up on the steering wheel or sitting too down, and it's got an adjustable steering wheel column as well. But say you're taller, you know, 6'5", 6'10", you know, direction. I've had some people that I've asked, hey, sit in the car and tell me what you think, and they're just blown away because the seat is not even all the way down and they've got a fist above their head, which they don't typically have in these older cars. So that's one of the big things with these seats that I think is compelling. That's a favorite part of the whole build, is that the foundation allows these seats to fit into it and it gives you full adjustability for comfort. Again, riding home from, you know, Vegas and a lot of, you know, the street driving that we did around town and everything over the weekend, I was able to position the seat just perfectly to get my seating position in a very comfortable. It did not, how can I say, it didn't fatigue me to drive this car around at all. It felt like I was jumping in a newer car and driving around, and just obviously it's a muscle car. So the seating position, huge deal that you just cannot get with a stock car unless you completely modify and do all the tricks that you need to do, and which I don't even think that it's even possible without cutting the floor out of an original car and lowering it down, because that's what they've done with this one. So a lot of work has been put into it. So A1 on the seats and the seating position by Ironworks, because the finish, I mean, look at this thing. It looks like, you know, it looks very similar-ish, style-ish to an SS True seat. So that's why I like them. So while we're in here, I'm going to get into my fourth favorite thing. And my fourth favorite thing is going to be also around the driving experience, is that this thing has the gauges by Dakota Digital, and I'll light them up here. I don't know if you can see, but they light up. They're all illuminated with LEDs, really nice lighting. We have the time, the odometer, we have a heads up speedometer, low low, the dial as well. So just very nicely laid out, not like something hard to see whatnot when you're driving. So I really love that aspect of the car. I love these gauges, and with that they have it all laid out in this cluster that they've custom made out of a solid chunk of billet aluminum. It does look, you would think that this looks factory, but it is not. It is, that's not plastic, that is billet aluminum. So I'm really loving the whole layout and cluster, gauges and whatnot. And then with that is the AC. The AC, just, if anything, I mean, it was crazy that we were going through the desert at, you know, 95 to almost climbing up to 100 degrees, and literally my wife and I had the fan on 50% down to 60 degrees, but the fan was only blowing at like 50%. We even turned it up at one point, and she said, you know, hey, let's turn it down because it was a little, got a little chilly. Not like horrible, but like, why would you even think that in a car like this? So the AC, vintage air, you guys kick butt. This whole setup worked really well in this car. So I want to talk about my fifth favorite thing. And to do that, I'm going to open up the hood, because this right here is just a behemoth of a power package. You're looking at an LT4 supercharged GM crate motor that you can purchase off of GM's website. If you can find one right now. At the time of this video, they're kind of hard to get, but they are out there, and they go for a pretty penny. But this is a very nice package all the way around, as well as the 10-speed that's behind it. Now, I really enjoyed driving this car because it was power on demand. It had a nice whine to it, and you just gave it gas and it just wanted to keep on going. So the drivability of this motor is very high, as in you can drive it and just cruise it. You can get on it and have fun. It's a very wide range of drivable power. You're not stretching out a motor limits with horsepower to get this kind of horsepower. Again, it's slated to be 650 horsepower, so you could build an engine without the blower on it, regular LT or an LS, and you know, you can pump it up to get 650 horsepower, but it's just not going to be the same type of power and drivability power as what this offers. So it is definitely a favorite for me. I really like this package. It is, you know, this with the 10-speed. I'm not a 10-speed guy. I'll be completely honest. I'm not an automatic guy. If I was to build one, I wouldn't put the 10-speed in it myself, but this thing drives phenomenal. I wasn't unhappy with it. It was definitely a favorite of mine about driving this car. So I wanted to point those things out. So those are the top 5 things that I really enjoyed about this car, favorite things about the car all in a whole. And you can tell me down below what maybe some of the favorite things are about the car for you, because everyone's got a different opinion. You might like something else. You might dislike something else. Well, whatever you've got, throw it at us. Drop a comment down below. I love to hear what you guys think. Let's get, let's put the hood back down here, and let's get into some of the other questions that I had from people throughout the weekend. So again, this is a 1971 Chevelle that Ironworks Speed and Customs took a factory Malibu, this car right here, and transformed it into their Legacy Series car. And this has been called Goldie. That's the nickname that they've named it. And people have come up and said, hey, is Goldie for sale? Well, I hate to break it to you, Goldie is not for sale. Greg, the owner, loves this car, and I can see why clearly, and I don't see him selling it, so don't even try, I guess, at this point. If you do like this, just get a hold of Ironworks and talk to Roger and find yourself your own car. You can buy, like Goldie was purchased bone stock and then made into this car. So Ironworks does this for customers. So get a hold of Ironworks. If you're really serious about this, that's how you're gonna get one, is get a hold of Ironworks. So the next thing is, what is it like to drive a Chevelle with an LT4 and a 10-speed automatic? I got a lot of those questions in different versions, but that question is a really good question because I know a lot of people are considering doing an LT4 swap on their Chevelle, whether it's, you know, whatever level of Chevelle or even other car, Camaro, whatever. And there is a lot of talk about the 10-speed versus the 6-speed. And let me tell you, this 10-speed, this car does have paddle shifts, so that makes it a little bit funner in a sense of not just being an automatic. It is a really, really well-driving car. If you plan on driving your car long distance quite frequently and in traffic or whatever, I would most definitely go with this 10-speed transmission. I don't have anything bad to say about it other than personally, I'm a 6-speed guy because I like to throw that clutch in and, you know, be able to just control the gears and everything. That's the only thing that you lose out with this 10-speed. But if you're the type of guy that wants an automatic, 100%, this car was very fun to drive and the drivability of it was very, very nice. So 100% I would go after it if that's the type of guy that you are. And also with the motor too. Again, I already had talked about the motor, how it's very reliable, 650 horsepower to where it's power on demand, very well, you know, throttle response and everything else in between. So that I already kind of talked about that, so I won't go too far into that, but yes, this is a great package. A little spendy, but it's a great package. Our next thing is, so this was a good one that I had pop up. I forgot if it was YouTube or where it was, but it said, many people complain about larger wheels, saying that they lose ride and comfort. Since you have driven both styles, large wheels like this one, and my old LS car had 19s and 20s just like this one, but this one's got wider ones. And then my current car is a true SS with 14-inch factory wheels. They were asking, do you notice a difference in ride quality when driving with the bigger, larger wheels? So this is a little bit of a twist, okay? I'm gonna put it into two parts. So because I'll talk about this car first and foremost. This car has 19 by 10.5 wheels up front, and in the rear it has 20 by 12.5 out back. So pretty wide package. The tires up front are 285 35s, and out back it is 335 30s. And I want to note that because this is a very, very wide, you're not going to get this on a standard Chevelle or any other car package unless you're doing a full tub and chassis setup, okay? So this is very extreme, I guess, if I want to say. This car rides great with this wheel and tire package on it. You don't really feel a burden with the larger tires when you're going down the road. But with that said, there's a significant reason why you don't feel any type of harsh ride. Like, you obviously can feel that you have larger tires and wheels underneath the car, don't get me wrong. But when you're driving the car, you don't feel it as abrupt because this has an aftermarket chassis on it. And again, going back to what I was explaining was that this car is not lowered. This car is at ride height because of the chassis. So I want to point that out, is that the main reason why this car rides so good is because it's got a very well developed shock package that caters to this wheel and tire package, and it has full suspension stroke upwards and downwards, and it's not hammered out, discrediting the ride quality because of that. So this car rides really well. On my old LS car, let me reflect something else with this question. My old LS car, if you guys remember, that one had 19 by 10s up front and 20 by 10s in the rear. It had like a 305 out back and 275 up front. That car was on a stock chassis. It had all the bells and whistles of suspension components that I could throw at that stock chassis, and the car was lowered. The car wasn't as low as this car, but the car was lowered. That car, you could definitely feel the larger wheels and tires. It wasn't a complete bad thing, but you could feel it more. And the reason why is because that car was lowered. It had discredited suspension. Still drivable, still a great car, nothing wrong with it. It's just a different budget line compared to this aftermarket chassis. So if you're a stock chassis guy thinking about tires and wheels, on a factory chassis with some mild bolt-on parts on it, I would probably suggest that you know, if you're looking for best of both worlds, style and performance, do like an 18-inch wheel, probably be best all the way around, or maybe a 17. So we're getting into the next question, which kind of goes along with some of the other stuff, but someone asked directly, how does it ride and drive? And again, I'm gonna go back to talking about a factory chassis versus this aftermarket chassis. If you want the best overall driving experience and ride quality and performance, definitely an aftermarket chassis is going to get you there. And that's because, again, the car is not lowered, the stance is not altered. Even though this car has this stance right here, it's not a tall vehicle that's been lowered down. This is ride height, and the whole design has been catered around this height. So again, it's because it's got full upstroke and full downward stroke, just like a factory car would have to off the showroom floor. So like you notice a lot of the new cars these days, they come with a really nice wheel and tire package and a stance that fits it. Well, that's how like this is. This, you know, the newer cars, the suspension's not lowered. That's just the ride height. It's the same thing with this. I don't know how else I can explain it other than you just really need to experience it yourself. But because you have full suspension stroke and geometry at this ride height, it's not altered. It just plays a big factor into a positive outcome for ride quality. Also note too that if you guys are interested in a package like this, since we're already talking about this chassis so much, Ironworks Speed & Customs does have their Roadstershop IRS Legacy Series chassis for sale on their website. You can go to their website and check it out. You can buy that and put it underneath your car if that's what you would like. And then there's some other companies out there that have developed some chassis too as well. But I will tell you that the thing with the Legacy Series Ironworks collab with Roadstershop is that it's a Roadstershop chassis that is their fast track chassis, but then developing with Ironworks, they've got the whole floor incorporated into it. So the foundation starts from there, and then you can do the seating position, you can do the wheel well tubs, you can do everything to get your car to look like this and work correctly. So I just wanted to throw that out there for you guys that are possibly considering doing a chassis. Next question that I got a lot of is, where can I buy some of these items that you see on the car, such as these mirrors right here? So these mirrors are pretty cool. I wanted to kind of just highlight them because it's something different that you see than what's on the market compared to a lot of others. There is a lot of mirrors that are on the market, but a lot of them are more of just more of a aftermarket design and look. These ones right here are designed to mimic the factory mirror, but these are solid billet aluminum. And the cool, really cool factor about them is that it's got a ball, you're able to adjust it right in this area right here. If you take this cap off, it's got an Allen screw that puts pressure and locks in this first position of the housing where it sits. And then from there, once you set that position, this mirror on the inside, you can literally move the mirror inside the housing. So for guys that, you find that the factory mirrors, you can easily bump into them. You go to the car wash, you wash your car, whatever you do, and you find that you're always bumping into the mirror, or just going down the road, you'll start to notice that the mirror falls or moves, and then you can't see out of it from the driver's side or the left side, passenger side. These mirrors right here are a really great upgrade. These are available on Ironworks' website for you to purchase, and you can put them on your car, whatever you have, Malibu or SS car, Chevelle, Monte Carlo, any of the cars that are similar like this, you can put these mirrors on that car. So the next thing that we had a lot of questions on for where to purchase would be this steering wheel right here. This is the Legacy Series steering wheel that Ironworks has designed and developed in-house for their cars, and they actually offer them to the general public as well on their website. They're made out of aluminum, and then you can basically, get them Cerakoted, wrapped, in any type of finished look that you want. This one has a little bit of a gray Cerakote finish on it, but I have seen them in polished as well, to be a mirror polished. And then I think you can also they do offer them with the center horn cap with a couple different designs, like a standard one that doesn't say Ironworks, or this one that says Ironworks on it as well. So I've been really talking about this gauge cluster. So I had some people ask about it as well, if it's something, and Ironworks currently does not have this cluster. Let me show you right here, this whole cluster, this bezel cluster area. This is all one piece billet aluminum. This currently is not on the website for sale, but Ironworks has talked about if there was enough interest of maybe doing a small order of them, not really selling them all the time, but basically doing a special order of an allotment of maybe 10 at a time or something like that. They are going to be pretty pricey because they are a solid piece of billet aluminum, has a lot of machining hours that go into it. So it is something to consider. It is going to be a pricey item. If you are interested in it, then I would probably say reach out to Ironworks Speed and Customs and just kind of tell them, hey, when you're ready to do that order, I'd possibly be interested in it, and give me a price and stuff, and they can do that for you. So one more last item that people had asked me a lot about if they were available to purchase. Because, I mean, anytime these cars get posted is always a question: where are the wheels from, what wheels are on them, and what have you about the wheels. So I wanted to just note about the wheels that these are a Forgeline wheel to replicate. They are billet wheels. They are to replicate the factory rally type of wheels, and you can buy them through Ironworks or Forgeline on this series. And then if you notice on some of the other Legacy Series cars, they have a different style that looks more or less like a true SS replica wheel. That is their Keystone Series wheel. It's also made by Forgeline, but I will tell you that it is a little bit different than the typical Forgeline wheel that Forgeline sells and offers. Ironworks has made some characteristic changes to them, and if you want that specific design that Ironworks is putting on their cars, you can get a hold of Ironworks and purchase those through Ironworks as well. All right, so here's the big one. People want to know, what is the cost? So this might shock you, or it will shock you, but these cars are starting at $300,000 and up. Depending on the options of how you build your car, there's a lot of customization from that $300,000, and there's some just regular options as well to just get you started. You can go to Ironworks' website, and they have the actual car on their website for sale that you can kind of mess around with a little bit of the options and figure out where you're at on that. But then for the more customization side of things that is on top of that, then you can get a hold of them and talk to them about building a car like this. And that $300,000 starting point is that you have to bring them a car that is a car that does not need paint. That's not paint. That's not any type of body work or anything like that, cosmetic wise. So this is right here is a perfect example of that, what you would need for a car. This car was purchased, original paint, original windows, vinyl top, everything. It was a driving 350 Malibu, and it was a perfect car candidate to be able to cut into and do the chassis and all the other modifications to build this Legacy Series car. And I know, again, I get a lot of people that are like, oh my God, that's a lot of money. It is a lot of money. This car is not for everyone. This is not for the guy that's just looking to have a muscle car to go cruise around on the weekends. This is someone that is probably more of a car collector, or someone that's a very enthusiastic, person within the car community, and really, really wants the demand of a performance Chevelle. So I want to note some figures to put in perspective how fast this money gets ate up in this type of build. The chassis alone, you're looking at just shy of $50,000 for the chassis. That's not all the extra stuff that goes into making the car fit on the chassis and other things like that. That's just the chassis alone. And then from there, this engine, crate motor, off of GM or any of the other sites online, you're looking at $20,000 if you can find one right now. So pricing on those are a little high too as well. And then this 10-speed automatic transmission, you're looking at another $7,000. So right there, you're really climbing up into, the 80 to 90,000 range really quickly just on those three components. That's still not even making all those components actually come together and work together like you see here. Again, this car is not for everyone. It does have a very, very refined finish to it. All the wiring, all the fitment, just everything, how this car is put together has gone through a very, very heavily workload and man hours to put this car together and how you see it formed to perform all together as well. So Not to say that you can't build a car cheaper, because you can definitely go out and build a car cheaper and have a lot of fun. Some guys are totally okay with cars that are $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 cars, and some guys are fine with a $100,000 build car. If you had all that and you want more, this is just something to look at. So again, it's not for everyone. We just want to sit here and document this car and show you how cool it is. It's something to aim for. Maybe you don't even want a car like this, and maybe you like the mirrors, maybe you like the wheels, maybe you like something else about the car. It gives you ideas. If this car at least just gives you some inspiration to go out and build your own car, your own formula of a car, that's all really I'm looking to do with these, you know, videos. Again, not trying to think that everyone's ready to buy a car like this, but really just kind of showing you how far you can go with a car, and to try to just pull together some of the things that you like and value and maybe put it into your own build, if that makes sense. So guys, I think that's pretty much it. I'm really just thankful to be able to drive this car for so long and put so many miles on it. Again, thank you very much to Greg, the owner of the car, and Ironworks Speed and Customs, for trusting me with the car and going out and just showing all you guys. I had a lot of fun this past weekend, from Saturday to Sunday, and all the events that we did. Guys, if you have a Chevelle, please take the time and try to come out to one of these Cruising PCH events, and or some of the other stuff that we go to during the weekends, and come out and have fun with your Chevelle. Again, my name is Nick with Chevelle Factory. Thank you for watching, and thank you for all the support. I'll see you guys at the next video. Okay, I almost forgot to put in the video. We need to ask my wife Kelly what she loved about the car. Top 5 things from Kelly. Go.
Okay, top 5 things for me. Definitely the paint and vinyl top. It just makes you feel like you took a step right back into the 70s, which I absolutely love. It's one of my absolute favorite things about the car is the color. Next, I would say the seating position. It was extremely comfortable. The whole time I was in it, it was just a really comfortable ride, and I loved the seats. The AC was cranking, and super happy with the vintage air and the AC when we were in the desert anyway. It was great. The braking is impeccable. Absolutely loved the brakes on the car. Very, very impressive. In fact, that's probably one of the most impressive things to me, were the brakes on the car. Digital gauges, they were great. Another favorite part of the car. Is that 5? I could name a lot of things, actually. So I think that was my top 5.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
That was almost like my top 5. Did you just listen to me while I just shot you shot me doing this whole video?
Those were really good points.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
They were.
Yeah.
We had a lot of discussion while we were driving, and truly, guys, like everyone watching this video, this is really truly from like our heart. Like, this is a really bitchin' car. There's some things that if we were going to build one, we would do a little bit different, not because we're not unhappy with the car, just because of our personal preference on how we ourselves would spend the money, if you want to take it for that. Really great car again.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thank you, Greg, so much. Thank you, Roger from Ironworks, and we had a blast. It's great.
Dude, this car hits that 1975.
Yeah.
So awesome. 100%. Thanks for watching, guys.
See you later.
Real quick, I just jumped in my original 70 SS Chevelle. Original seats, original everything, original. It's not modified. And oh my God, coming out of the 71 Legacy Series Chevelle to this is like, I feel like I'm driving a truck. Like, I know I talked about over and over again about the seating position and just how well it felt from the driver's point of view, but right now, I mean, I don't know if you can see in the video or not compared to the other car, but I'm up way higher. I've got one fist above my head, and the seat is where it's at, and the seat's also pushed back as far as possible, and I'm 5'10", and I'm in a comfortable position, like as in like leg, you know, like my foot to the gas pedal and the brake pedal. But if you were taller, I don't know what you would do. You would be crammed, and then, you know, if you're taller, you'd be into the headliner. I'm looking through the windshield, and I'm looking through the tint. It is completely different. It is crazy. And maybe if you would have noticed in the video of the other car, when I had my arm on the armrest, you know, on the door, I was up higher like this, and now I'm like, I'm below my shoulder line, and the other car I'm probably up about my shoulder line, if not a little bit higher. it is insane what a seating position would do for the experience. And then I also say, not to mention seating position, but man, these factory SS bucket seats suck. They just suck. I feel like I feel like I'm on a couch with all the pillows in the center and no side support at all. Like, it's just, I mean, it is what it is. These cars are old and they were developed back in the 70s, and technology and let alone ergonomics, I butchered that, I'm sorry, but you know what I mean. It just wasn't the same as where we're at today with how things are made, and you know, obviously these newer seats and stuff like that. So I just wanted to point that out. I'm in my stock Chevelle, and God, I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean, power wise and, you know, suspension and chassis, you know, this stock car to that car, I mean, that's another subject in itself, which I'm totally, this is why I have a stock car, because I want it to be stock. This car I want to be stock, but the seating position sucks, and so it just makes driving the car, the experience is short-lived. I don't feel compelled to jump in the car, and I would not drive this car to Vegas or anywhere probably farther than an hour away from where I live. That's just it. So I wanted to share that with you guys.